Hey, what's up, guys? Let's get right into it. Black Panther, second movie, Wakanda Forever. Let's just talk about it. So this movie had a lot to kind of cover and go over and make sure it did things right, especially with the passing of Chadwick Boseman. That really kind of put a damper on any new Black Panther movie really going forward. You weren't sure, if Shuri was going to get it, if they were going to... I know there were rumors of Michael B. Jordan coming back and being Black Panther. So there were a lot of stories and, I guess storyboards that were coming out kind of depicting what people wanted, what fans thought could happen. So you really didn't know what was going to happen kind of going into this movie. They did a really good job honoring Chadwick Boseman in this movie, especially just in the beginning, the opening credits. Usually when they do the Marvel scroll, it shows all of the different characters, new characters, old characters. This one, it was just Chadwick Boseman, just him as Black Panther, in the suit, out of the suit. It was, quiet moment of silence is I'm assuming what they were going for. It was really kind of heartwarming, especially to the way that the Black Panther passed in this movie. They don't go into grave detail, which I don't think they should have. I think they kind of did it perfectly. They just basically let the audience know, yes, he died in this universe, and then let's kind of move on from there. Really, the movie kind of picks up. They do a ceremony for him and all of that, which is really touching as well. You can kind of see some of the emotion on the actual actors and actresses. They were just really feeling the emotion. You could definitely tell, especially with Ryan Coogler and how he filmed this. It definitely was just, let's honor Chadwick Boseman before anything else, before we even jump really into the story. So then right after that, obviously, they don't have any more of the orchids because Killmonger burned them in the previous movie. Shuri's really just trying to recreate that so they can actually get a Black Panther to protect them. Then they introduce Namor, who, I know if anybody who reads comics knows, he's kind of like an anti-villain, anti-hero, I guess, if that makes sense. He really, for the most part, he's trying to protect his people. It really shows in this movie that he's not really a bad person. It's more or less him trying to protect his family, his people, the people he rules over. Tenoch Huerta, hopefully I pronounced that correctly, does a great job in this movie. He was really a standout for me, especially just a new character. You want to build up how badass he is and how powerful he is. And I think they really do show that in this movie, where he can kind of bend Wakanda at will to whatever he wants them to do. Even when he's fighting in the final battle, he's almost overwhelming in this movie at certain times. They also brought in Riri Williams, so most of you know, if not all, know that she is Ironheart in the comics. It's a really good way to bring her in and introduce her for especially the younger audience, because she's not from, the 1940s, 50s, 60s. She's really early in the comics. She only came out not too long ago. So I think that brings in a younger audience. They have a young girl who's just really stupid smart. I think she is up there with Tony Stark, at least. She's building different suits and stuff like that, different things when she's 3 years old. So she's really smart, or just a badass, and she's really cool in the story. And it's also cool that they brought her in, and basically the story called for it. It's not like they just brought her in and were like, hey, here's Ironheart, let's throw her into the movie. There's a reason she's there. There's a reason she's in Wakanda and all of that as well. So it's a cool kind of aspect. It's really nice, too, that they kind of build the world, and that's really unexpected, I guess, in Marvel now, because, they're in the universe, they're in the quantum realm, they're traveling around in space, so you think, like, all right, where else can we go? Let's go underwater, and it's really cool that you can kind of see where they live, where they move to, because, they had to adapt, and then something happened to them where they ended up going underwater, so it's just really cool. Also, not to mention, they kind of hint at him being a mutant, which I believe right now, don't crucify me if I'm wrong, but I believe right now that is actually canon. I think in the comics he is a mutant, and I think that's a cool way to be like, hey, mutants are around. Maybe, X-Men, they can all kind of come in and everybody will know what mutants are already because of Namor. Letitia Wright as Shuri also has a lot on her plate. She basically has to carry this movie. Yes, there's supporting actors. Yes, there's Namor, Riri Williams, everything like that. But she's the main focus of this movie. It's her handling the grief of losing, her brother, and how her character builds off of that, how she can grow and, become maybe a leader in Wakanda to fight Namor and all of that. I think they did a good job. There was a couple spots in the movie where they took her character in a weird way, and you just kind of assumed by the end of the movie, that's not where it was going to be. So it was really abrupt, where it was just kind of a real quick, switch, and then, they changed. So I don't know. That was really my only gripe with this movie, and that's just a small little thing. I overall really enjoyed this movie. I would definitely go see it. Buy it on Blu-ray 4K, get the Best Buy Steelbook when that comes out, because we all know it's going to come out. But overall, this movie was really good. Ryan Coogler did a really good job just overall keeping this movie together. It really felt like it was its own movie. Yes, there was little hints here and there to other Marvel movies, and you had some people that were in other Marvel movies that show up here as like small minor characters. But overall, if you watch this movie and you watch it after, the first one, it's its own movie, which is, I think that's the way to build Marvel movies like they used to. You had movies where they can just sit on their own, like obviously Captain America, the second one, The Winter Soldier. That seemed like it literally was a spy movie first and then a Marvel movie second. This is the same thing. I think it really holds its own. You can watch this movie just by itself, and it's just really enjoyable. You really don't have to know a lot of the backstory to other characters. You're not watching all the Avenger movies before you watch this. So overall, definitely a good movie. Go watch it. Go see it in theaters. Go support it. I loved it. I thought it was a really good movie overall. Like I said, there was only one or two small little gripes, but that's not going to hold me back by saying this movie is extremely good. I enjoyed it. So go watch it. But before you go watch it, let me know two things. One, how does this mic sound? I just switched the mic out. I just wanted to test a new one. I have a Rode mic, so we'll see how that goes. So definitely let me know in the comment section below. And then second thing, just comment down below. Did you see the movie? Did you like the movie? What are your thoughts? What are your opinions? Where do you think this movie or Black Panther in general is going to go from here? Where can they go? Where do you want them to go? Who do you, the next movie or Avengers movies, whatever. And also like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification. We'll see you guys later.